Semi-finals. So the map was Newkirk Precinct, which is the same map we just had.
That is true. Now the same thing can be said for this matchup as well as TVZ. We have a lot of chokes here,
Yeah.
especially in and around the expansions, making this prime play for things like fungals, blinding clouds, force fields, storms. This is all very abusable on this map.
Absolutely. Would you like to introduce these players?
Yep, definitely. So, wait a minute, as I need to get the starboard up and rolling. There we go. In the bottom left corner, we do have the blue Zerg player, Snitchables.
Yep.
And his opponent is going to be the red Protoss on the other side of the map, of course. He's going to be none other than Underdark, as I need to actually make him a Protoss and not a Terran. There we go.
Yep. And of course, Underdark plays for Team Neurosoft. Unfortunately, I don't know their website. I just tried to Google it. I could not. But go check them out, guys. They're a really cool team with quite a lot of good up-and-coming players. And of course, I was just informed that Snitchables has now joined Team Infused, which is pretty much the second premier UK gaming team in terms of recognition and name and stuff like that. And you can check them out at team-infused.net. So always gotta give the team a shout out. I don't know if he has Twitter, so I can't give that a shout out, but I think it's just Snitchables. I'm sure it's just Snitchables.
Well, he can type this into the chat after we finish the game. We'll ask him. So nothing out of the ordinary apart from the gateway expand, but otherwise nothing funky going on so far. And only now does Underdark... Wow, he's not even scouting. Is he just going to scout after the Nexus or just not ever?
It doesn't look like it. Maybe after the pylon. That's the only thing I can really think of. And, this is a very fast expansion.
Wow.
There's no Zealot or anything like that. No gas.
He's not going to scout ever.
Yeah, this is like the type of build you do if you see like a CC first come out of a Terran player as you scout them. You're like, okay, I'm not taking my command center, my subcore, my gas. I'm going to drop a Nexus. But of course, we did have the pool started, the Queen in production. No Zerglings, so at the moment this is perfectly okay. And interesting, the Cybercore does not have a full wall off, so I wonder if the little gap on the left is for the the hole. Because otherwise that could get him some trouble. I'm sure that's not Zergling tight.
I'm sure it is. It is not Zergling proof. I'm pretty sure that Zerglings can get past. Maybe it's a mistake by Underdark. Maybe it's by design. I would be more inclined to say that it is by mistake. And also putting the core as part of the wall. Well, he's not going to be building forges, so I guess it's okay. Meanwhile, this probe, all this probe is going to see is going to be the natural base. Yep. And with the next hit, the probe should be killed. There we go. So we will not be even capable and able to confirm or deny the third base coming up. I'm pretty sure, though, that Underdark will be pushing with a Zealot and a Stalker and a Mothership Core fairly quickly. Maybe even without a Mothership Core, and he will find out soon enough if the third base is being put down or not.
Alright, he's got... It's a very interesting wall, I gotta say. Now, of course, the Zerg, seen the gateway opening, it has gone for his speed instead of the third hatchery, which is something you should be doing. Of course, gateway timings and any type of funky timings, they hit so much faster. It could just be, a 4 or 5 gate straight up all in, and that's it. So you can have that third base because you cannot defend it if that is the case. Speed stops probes, allows you to, of course, counter-attack if the incoming pressure from the Protoss fails, and stuff like that, which is always a very nice thing. Okay, the wall is now complete. There's one gap, thankfully. Very odd wall, I gotta say.
True. Now, what we are going to see here in about 40 seconds will be a 3-gate attack with a Mothership Core. So, a lot of units can be warped in. A combination of Sentry Zealots, most probably, as that is the most effective one on your resources. These
just impressive.
Zerglings, are they're just going to catch this Zod off guard, get rid of his shields, but there's a Stalker as well, and these Zerglings with proper micros should be taken care of.
10 seconds left on the speed. We have 8 more Zerglings in production, so that is not going to actually be that many. Ooh, did it survive? Did the Zealot? No. It got picked off by the last.
No, it got picked off by the last Zergling, exactly. Now the third base is on the way, the Robo is on the way for
the third base hasn't been
Underdark
scouted
as well.
either.
Yep, it
So
wasn't. Underdark is just looking to do as much damage as he can, but with the speed he's going to have to recall out.
Yeah, he's gonna have to, unless of course he wants to lose all the ground units, which he will. Stalker goes down, speed is complete, so even the Zealot that is trying to escape will of course go down. Third base now getting spotted, but of course this was a pressure build, so it's not so bad. Snitchables is in a good spot, but we do have the Forge now finishing up. There is a Robo, and of course 4 gases being mined, even though one of them only has 2 instead of 3, so a bit of a misclick there from Underdark. +1 now starting. More Zealots being warped in, there were more warpings as well, so now we have 6 Zealots, which can actually do a really good job against this small little army, as drones were just produced, but more Zerglings did pop as well, so this is going to be interesting.
Ooh, time warp going down. This is not a good call, Underdark. No recall available, and you know, with those roaches and those lings, nothing he can do. He has to go back. Actually, those lings might be of the mind to catch those Zealots as they are retreating.
They're not. That'd be a very bad fight, though.
But they can. I know, but they can delay them until the roaches catch up with them. It might work. It might not. Snitchables is just. Yeah, he has to be careful, and maybe he will just try to go. Yeah, he will try to cut them off at the ramp. But the roaches are just too slow.
They are. They move at the exact same speed, so he has to, like, he can't lose. He wouldn't be able to lose the Zerglings before the roaches came there. Otherwise, it would be in vain, because all the Zerglings would get picked off. But it looks like he's just going to go pressure his opponent. Now, of course, he was forced to build units. He, had a slightly different build because of the gateway opening. But he wants to make sure now that the Protoss takes no third, pretty much. And it looks like it's going to be some sort of 2-base Colossus all in. He can take a third, but it's going to be interesting. It's not going to be the easiest. He's going to have to wait until maybe a Colossus does pop. But actually, he does have 2 Immortals already and 6 Sentries with 6 Zealots. So he has a potent army, actually.
He's pretty fine versus Roachling at this stage in the game. And I really like what he did. He started building the Twilight and the Robobay at the same time, and then sent out a Hallucinated Phoenix to scout what his opponent is going for. And he did see the Infestation Pit. So when you see the Infestation Pit going down, that's usually the time you, as a Protoss, usually the time you want to put down your Robobay. Yeah. And this is, of course, going to be for Swarm Hosts. Not a Quick Hive, because we don't have a 4th base, and honestly, the Quick Vipers would not make a sense in this situation, but the Swarm Hosts, they can actually do pretty much. Blink going down for the Protoss is a very good response to Swarm Host play. But Colossi are going to be needed more than Blink in this kind of situation. And look at this, Snitchables not even waiting until the Enduring Locust upgrade finishes. He just goes straight for it. He knows that he's got a very small timing window he can use until there are 3 and more Colossi out on the field, so he's going for it straight away. And this 3rd base eventually will get killed, I feel like. Oh my god.
Underdark is going for the kill before the Swarm Host get in position, but he does not get it as they do burrow. There is no Observer with this army, as he is, of course, chrono boosting Colossus out like a madman. And I really like what you said about the Vipers, and you're right. He doesn't need the Vipers yet. It's better to have, a bit more critical mass of Swarm Hosts before you get the Vipers, so you can abduct and get the kill on the Colossus and stuff like that. There is also a Nidus Win, which I really like. But it's also a big thing to notice that the proxy pylon hasn't been scouted and hasn't been dealt with, so there are still Zealot warpings going on over there. Here comes the Nidus to reinforce a lot faster, and we have a second Colossus soon to pop. The Observer is queued up behind it, so that is very good for Underdark. He needs that Observer. And Colossus range nearly finishing +2, and Blink all nearly complete.
Yeah, there's still no Observer with this army, so Underdark does not see those Swarm Hosts, but the splash going on the Queens is damaging the Swarm Hosts a little bit as well.
The Colossus did get taken out. That takes him back down to 1. Here comes the Observer, third Colossus, but that will take him up to 2. And the Mothership core gets taken out. That was quite a big thing there. Swarm Host moving forward, and Underdark's gonna maybe catch him off guard, but no, they get burrowed. And there are 10 Swarm Hosts here. That's a lot, man.
That is a critical mass of swarm hosts right there. Now, this pylon is going to be taken out. Underdark doing the smart thing. He's trying to go and hit from the back, kill the Nidus network, prevent the retreat of those swarm hosts. And now he's got the Observer, so he can kill those. But here come the roaches. They get a couple of shots off on onto the Colossus. They surrounded the rest of the Gateway army, and this is just going to be it, I fear.
It's got to. He just lost like 20, 25 harvesters, actually 19 at the 3rd base, thanks to the Swarm Host as he went for the surround. The 4th base is in production, but being attacked by a single Zerglin, so it has been spotted. And the 3rd is being sacrificed. So he is in a very bad spot. It's 86 v 161 supply, so it's not looking good.
No, it is not, and Snitchables, he's got such a good hold on this game that if he wanted to, he could go for a Hive right now, and he's already getting a Spire, so either for Corruptors or something else, we don't know. I actually don't like this choice with building more Swarm Hosts at this point in time. I mean, it is true that Underdark's army is really small and he is out of position. Would be better for him if he turtled a little bit inside his natural and then try to bust out. That's why I don't like the additional Swarm Hosts, by the way. They're not needed.
Yeah, he did lose a couple, so he's only gotten to 7, so I can kind of see why. He's like, okay, like just reproduce a couple to get back up. Behind this, he hasn't got his Hive, though, as his Spire is nearly complete, so... Yeah, like I don't think all this tech is necessary because he's in such a dominant position.
Yeah.
Like, once he kills this army that's roaming around the outside, he's going to be in a very good spot. 3rd now being retaken as the 4th does get killed off. So another Knight is being dropped as well, just outside the natural. So he is going to be sieging from that point. And a lot of units walking across the map do get picked off. A lot of Swarm Hosts. Nidus gets killed off pretty fast. Should maybe pop some creep tumors down to keep the creep expanding.
That is true. Another Knight is popping though, and well, with this surround, the Stalkers have to blink away, the Colossi are dead. Zealot Warpins, massive Zealot Warpin actually occurring in the main of Snitchables. Not that it's going to do much, but Underdark is trying to do whatever he can. This Nexus will have to get cancelled yet again. Look how fast that one goes down. No cancel even on that one, and that's with only +1 attack on the Locusts. Underdark really is trying to do whatever he can. He tries to harass, he tries to scratch.
Into the Locust by itself, they're attacking it, and they take it down. That was so costly. That was like his only Colossus. It's such a big deal. An Unburrow on the Swarm Hosts, which is a bit odd since they would have sent Locusts out just at that moment. So they do get cleaned up, which is very good for Underdark.
Yeah, this is, but still, there's just too many roaches. If we look at the counts, 42 roaches versus 11 something Stalkers, 2 sentries and a Colossus. Well, it is true that the Protoss army is at +3, and he can hold on for a little bit longer, but still.
Yeah, it's it's 2 base. The main is got 2 mineral patches, 90 and 30. And even the natural is soon to be running out, as of course it was a very fast expansion. And of course the Zerg himself on the other side of the map, good economy, 4 base, fair enough. He's been hyper aggressive, kinda, so his his drone count isn't as high as it should be. And 4 Stalker drop into the main is trying to do some pressure. There is, does it have speed? No, it doesn't.
No.
There is Corruptors here, so this is going to be a very costly loss here for Underdark.
Yeah, he pretty much has to unload those Stalkers and get away with the Warp Prism. Those Stalkers will try to target down as many drones as possible, most likely, but that's all they can do. I'm actually surprised that the Corruptors are not going after the Warp Prism and they let it escape. Most probably will head to the 3rd base and cause some sort of harassment there as well.
There was one Corruptor targeting it down, so maybe it got picked off by the Stalkers. The Queens Well, oh, I thought the Queens were going to target down the War Prism then. There's also 17 probes long distance mining, which is interesting.
Yeah, and they are going to get killed right now.
Oh,
Goodbye, probes.
It was always very painful. And there is only roaches and queens, only 3 corruptors, so 3 corruptors, 3 colossus is going to take them quite a while. And there's a couple of swarm hosts, but they're actually not rallied. But the Zerg's army is still 180 v 185, so he is in a commanding position here. It's just like
yeah, but with 3 colossi, those roaches are going to be melting away like butter, and those locusts as well. They don't have any armor upgrades, and the Protoss is at +3. The problem is he's running out of resources. If he had another mining base, I'd say yeah, maybe he's got a chance, seeing how Snitchables is playing and how Underdark is playing. But as it is, I don't really think this is going to be the case. I mean, all Snitchables has to do is get rid of the observers.
Yeah,
that's all he has to do.
Yeah, and he's still super far ahead, but he has to be careful. If he's just constantly losing units like he is, because the last couple of fights have been much more cost efficient for the Protoss player, much more cost efficient.
They have. 41 probes have been killed to 39 drones. If we look at the harvested counts, 46 drones versus 29 probes. Not as good of a spot as you would thought Snitchables would be in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we see Underdark deciding not to attack. He really... who can blame him? I mean, he really needs another base.
He does. He is taking his 3rd, but of course it hasn't been spotted yet. I'd imagine it will get spotted pretty soon. More swarm hosts are now joining the front. Some roaches and some corruptors. And there are 4 colossus, which is, quite a potent amount. Oh, the mothership core getting targeted down, and there it gets sniped. That is never a nice thing.
And those colossi, though, they are out of position. There's not enough stalkers to kill those corruptors in time. Roaches are coming in as well, targeting down the colossi one by one by one. I think they're going to get most of them. Yeah, they get 3, only 1 survives, and it is going to be GG very soon, because Underdark, without that massive AoE, no chance he can beat those locusts, let alone the rest of the army. And there's the GG. 1-0 Snitchables. Nice game.